Assalamu alaikum to everyone. Is my voice clear to all of you?
Walaikum
Yes,
Assalam. Yes,
sir.
sir.
Walaikum Assalam. Yes, sir. Your voice is.
Okay. So John Donne's poems, inshallah, we are going to read now, and we will read three poems. Try to read three love poems and three divine poems. Who was John Donne? We discussed early in the morning. We discussed in the morning, and we also talked about his age and talked about the kind of poetry for which he is famous. Now let's talk about his poem, A Valediction of Weeping. You can find these poems from internet. I will mention the names of the poems which I am going to teach you later on, maybe tonight or tomorrow. So you can also get these poems, text of these poems from the net. Can you see the poem in front of you?
Yes, sir.
So I hope you will have a notebook with you. You will have a notebook with you with a pen as well, so that you can note down important things with you.
Yes, sir.
A valediction of weeping. Now in this poem, while setting out on a journey, the poet addresses his dear wife. The writer, the poet, is setting out on a journey. वो एक सफर पर रवाना होने से पहले he is addressing his beloved wife. So what is he saying? And it is said that this journey was probably undertaken in 1612. It is a foreign country's journey. So the first sentence, let me pour forth. इसका मजीद बैकग्राउंड थोड़ा मैं बता देता हूँ कि both of them are weeping. Miss the lover and beloved, the poet and his beloved, they both are weeping with grief because they are parting. As they are parting, so they both are parting means दोनों एक दूसरे से जुदा हो रहे हैं. So they both are weeping. The poet says to her, let him weep in front of her. Because his tears bear her image in them. What he says, let me pour forth. First line, let me pour forth my tears before their face whilst I stay here. Means let me shed tears, मुझे रोने दो, while I am present before you. Let me pour forth. Pour forth means weep, shed tears. Let me weep or let me shed tears. Why my tears before thy face? Thy means your face. Before your face means in front of you. Whilst I stay here, because right now I'm here. For thy face coins them. For means here because. Thy means your. Because your face coins them. काइंडली अपने अपने माइक को म्यूट कर दीजिएगा प्लीज. कुछ पूछना हो तो आप अनम्यूट कर लीजिए, अदरवाइज म्यूट इट. लाइन नंबर 3.
सुनिए म्यूट मतलब आवाज नहीं जाएगी ना मेरी। ओ मैं
वाना, आपकी आवाज
तुम पे
आपके
म्यूट
घर
कर
से
रही
आवाज आ रही है।
थी।
आप लोग अपने माइक को खुद ही म्यूट कर लें, अदरवाइज योर वॉइस विल डिस्टर्ब अस। तो ये सब रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है, रिकॉर्डिंग में जाएगा और ये सब मैंने अपलोड करना है, तो काइंडली इसका ख्याल रखें। ये सब रिकॉर्डेड वर्जन है, एंड दीज विल बी रिकॉर्डेड एंड these are being recorded and these will be uploaded. So let me pour forth, let me weep my tears before thy face, before you, in your presence, while I stay here, because I am staying here right now. For thy face coins them, because for means here, because thy means your face stamp its image on them. Thy face coins them means its image, because your face stamped its image on them. Your face stamps its, and thy stamp they bear. मीन्स तुम्हारा जो फेस है, जो तुम्हारा जो चेहरा है, तो वो मेरे आंखों से आंसू जो निकल रहे हैं उस पर अपनी मोहर लगा देगा. And by this mentage they are something worth. And by this mentage, and my value, my tears that bear your stamp have gained some value. It has got some very importance. So by this mentage, they are something worth. They have become very important. For thus they be pregnant of thee, and that is why these tears are the product of my grief. Fruits of much grief, they are emblems of more. Emblems of more means his tear bearing her likeness falls and shatters on the ground. Emblems of more means tear bearing her likeness, similarity, falls and shatters on the ground. वो जो आंसू के कतरे हैं वो जमीन पे गिरते हैं, बिखर जाते हैं. तो क्या कह रहा है जॉन डन? Fruits of much grief, they are just as a fruits of much grief, they are emblems of more. When a tear falls, that dove falls which it bore. So thou and I are nothing then when a diverse shore. Thou means you. Here also thou means you. When a tear falls on the ground, that dove falls which it bore. So here it is being said, they are the token of past and future sorrows and symbols of more grief. When a tear falls, जब एक आंसू गिरता है, you also fall, तो तुम भी गिर जाती हो with it, because when a tear falls, you also fall with it because it contains your images. When a tear falls, that thou falls, which it bore, because it contains your images. So thou and I are nothing then when on a diverse shore. It means when you and I are in different places, with the poet in Europe and his wife is in England. The poet is in Europe and his wife is in England. So the poet says, when you and I are in different places, we are non-entities. We are insignificant beings. We are nothing without each other. On a round ball, draw not up, cease to drown me in thy sphere. Now here राउंड बॉल मीन्स एक गोल गेंद पर नक्शा साज होता है, नक्शा होता है, एक गोल गेंद होता है, उस पर नक्शा होता है, जिसके पास दुनिया के नक्शे की मतलब बहुत कापियां मौजूद होती हैं. So he says that on a round ball, a workman that had copies by can lay in Europe, Africa, and in Asia, and quickly made that which was nothing all. So on a round ball, Miss Globe, जो दुनिया का एक नक्शा होता है, गोल से गोल होता है, उसको बता रहे हैं. और कार्टोग्राफर मीन्स मैप मेकर, जो मैप नक्शे को बनाता है, उसको कह रहे हैं. A workman means map maker who has copies of the whole world can easily make the map of different continents. अब उसके पास पहले सारी दुनिया की वर्ल्ड की कॉपीज होती हैं, and that's why he can easily make the map of different continents like Europe, Africa, and Asia, and quickly make that which was nothing all. And he can also quickly create a useful thing out of nothing. यानी कि बहुत यूजफुल चीजें भी क्रिएट कर सकता है आउट ऑफ नथिंग. So dot each tear which thee doth wear. In the same way, each tear from your eyes is like the world. अब वो हर उस आंसू को जो उसकी अपनी उसकी बेलवेट की आंखों से निकल रहा है, गिरता है जमीन पर, उसको वो उस दुनिया से कंपेयर करता है जो मैप मेकर बना रहा है. He says, so doth each tear which thee doth wear. So in the same way, each tear from your eyes is like the world. A globe, ye world, by that impression grow, till thy tears mix with mine do overflow. This world, by water sent from thee, my heaven dissolve so. So my tears combined with your tears will make the great flood. क्या कह रहे हैं? What the poet is saying that a globe, you world, but that impression grow, means till thy tears mix with mine, means your tears will make my tears combined with your tears will make the great flood, the delve which will destroy both of us, which will destroy both of us. Overflow will destroy the peace of mind of both will be lost, because they will lose their peace of mind. The world by sent by from thee, my heaven dissolves so. So my each tear that carries imprint of your image, it becomes a globe, the globe of the world, the map of the world, until you start weeping and your never-ending tears mix with mine. And they run over this world, और पूरी दुनिया को डुबो देगा. Oh, more than moon, draw not up, cease to drown me in thy sphere. Oh, more than moon. Here, he is using personification technique. He is using figure of speech personification, and he is talking to the moon. Sorry, he's talking to his beloved, and he says that he says to his beloved, "Oh, more than moon," means oh, more beautiful than moon, or like the moon, the lady can make tides. Draw not up, cease to drown me in thy sphere. Thy means your, sphere means dunya. By your weeping, the tides will rise high and drown me. What is he saying? When you weep, so your weeping, your tears will make me will make me drawn in your tears, in the flood of your tears. So by your weeping, the tides will rise. तुम्हारे रोने से जो है मौजें उठेंगी, ऊंची से ऊंची उठेंगी, and will drown me, और मुझे डुबो देंगी. Weep me not dead in thine arm, but forbear to teach the sea what it may do too soon. So he's saying that even while I am within your arms, Please prevent the sea from doing havoc. इस समंदर को रोको. Means stop weeping. Do not encourage the sea storm. Do not make it rise. To teach the sea what it may do too soon. Let not the wind example find. So he's talking to his, addressing his beloved, and he's asking or requesting her not to encourage the sea storm by your sighs, by your tears, which may do more harm to him than she intended. To do me more harm than it purposed, means जितना तुमने सोचा उससे ज्यादा ये मुझे नुकसान पहुंचा सकता है. Since thou and I sigh one another's breath, since you and I both sigh together, जैसे चूंकि हम दोनों एक दूसरे के मतलब दूसरे के लिए जिंदा है, एक दूसरे की तरह, मतलब क्या कहेंगे उसे, हम एक दूसरे, हम दोनों की सांसें एक दूसरे में है. Whoever sighs most is cruelest and has the other's death. So here he's saying that since I and you sigh and thereby cause frustration to each other. तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि कोई हम में से कोई ज्यादा सांस ले और कोई कम सांस ले. अगर हम में से किसी ने ज्यादा सांस लिया तो वो भी खतरनाक हो सकता है, और कोई जल्दबाजी करे तो वो भी खतरनाक हो सकता है. So we both are living for each other. So we both are sighing one another's breath. That's why we should be careful. Otherwise, it may harm us. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So here, what is being said?
Yes, sir.
In the beginning, the poet wants to weep out his heart just to give an outlet to his pent-up feeling for his wife. यानी कि उसे he is expressing his love for his wife because he is parting from his wife. जैसे हम लोग कभी घर से दूसरे शहर में जाना चाह रहे हो या दूसरे मुल्क जाना चाह रहे हैं तो काफी उदास हो जाते हैं घर वाले, या हम उदास होते हैं. दिल नहीं करता कि हम अपने घर वालों को, अपनी फैमिली को जो है छोड़ के जाए. खासतौर पर जो दिन की नई नई शादी होती है तो उनको बहुत मुश्किल होता है जाने में, या बच्चे होते हैं तो बच्चों को छोड़ के जाने में मुश्किल होता है. So here, of course, Jonathan is talking about his beloved. He's talking about his wife. So he is addressing her, and he is in the beginning of the poem. He wants to weep out of his heart. Just he wants to give an outlet to his feeling for his wife because he is going out, and this separation is intolerable. According to the poet, it is intolerable. ये उससे बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रहा. Zaire, we see in the poem, the poet's wife is also unhappy. She's unhappy as the poet himself at the prospect of separation and loneliness. Then he compares the tears of his wife with the flood. The poet's tears are worth something because they bear his wife's stamp. कहता है कि मेरे जो tears इस पर तुम्हारी stamp लग गई है, इसलिए इसकी अहमियत ही कुछ और है. The poet compares the tear to a globe. अब यहाँ पे जो कंपैरिजन है कंसीटेड, जिसकी वजह से मेटाफिजिकल पोएट्री बहुत मशहूर है. He compares the tear of his beloved to a globe. पूरी दुनिया से कंपेयर कर देता है. And the tears shed by his wife will overflow the world. और कहता है कि जो आंसू तुम्हारे निकलने हैं दुनिया को तबाह कर देंगे, दुनिया में तबाही फैला देंगे. His tears combined with hers will cause a deluge and much unhappiness. तो फिर कहता है कि हम दोनों के टीयर जब एक दूसरे से मिल जाएंगे तो बहुत ज्यादा इससे तबाही आ जाएगी. In fact, the Dale will destroy both of them, though they never intended that both of them should lie. और ये इन दोनों को भी तबाह बर्बाद कर सकते हैं. Then he talks about the poet's wife. He talks about his wife like the moon. अपने wife को moon से compare करता है, and he says that his wife is capable of causing high tides. उसकी wife में ये capability है कि वो ऊंची से ऊंची लहरों को उठा सकती है और poet को डुबो सकती है. इसी तरह से उसकी जो साय, जो रोते हुए साय सांस लेते हैं उसको कहते हैं साय, SIGH साय, साय ऑफ रिलीफ जिसे हम कहते हैं. तो कहता है कि हर साइज आर आल्सो पावरफुल इनफ टू कॉज सी स्टॉर्म्स. ये इतनी उसकी साय जो वो ताकतवर है कि वो सी स्टॉर्म्स को भी भर सकती है और जिससे उसकी डेथ हो सकती है. किसकी? शायर की. आखिर में क्या कहते हैं, द पोइट सजेस्ट दैट दे शुड डिसिस्ट फ्रॉम साइंग वन अनदर्स डेथ, वो एक दूसरे से के लिए साय मतलब से बचें, बिकॉज इट वुड बी म्यूचुअली डिस्ट्रक्टिव, क्योंकि दोनों के लिए नुकसानदेह तबाहकुन है। फिर शायर ये भी कहता है कि एट अ टाइम वीपिंग एट अ टाइम ऑफ separation is natural, but it has to be reduced to the minimum because it will destroy peace of mind both। यानी कि जब सेपरेट हो रहे होते हैं दो चाहने वाले, तो ये नेचुरल सी बात है that when they both feel they have a very gloomy feeling, but the poet says that it should be reduced because it is something that may destroy peace of mind of both। इसी तरह से जब हम देखते हैं कि इस पोएम में, तो हमें नजर आता है कि देयर इज एन ऑर्गेनिक डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इमेजरी। जब आप इस पोएम को पढ़ेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपके जहन में, आपके दिमाग में एक किस्म की इमेजरी चल रही होगी, तस्वीर चल रही होगी। वन इमेज लीड्स टू द अदर, एक इमेज दूसरी इमेज की तरफ लीड करती है। फॉर एग्जांपल, द टीयर इज फर्स्ट कंपेयर टू अ कॉइन, पहले टीयर को कॉइन से कंपेयर किया जाता है, एंड इट लीड्स टू द स्टैम्प, पर ये स्टैम्प की तरफ जाता है, एंड द मिंट एंड द सॉवरेन एंड द वर्ड, पर ये इंपॉर्टेंस की तरफ जाता है। फिर द टीयर इज राउंड लाइक अ ग्लोब, फिर वो टीयर को ग्लोब से यानी दुनिया से कंपेयर करता है। फिर बताता है द ग्लोब इज अ नंबर ऑफ कॉन्टिनेंट्स, के ग्लोब में बहुत सारे कॉन्टिनेंट्स होते हैं। देयर प्रोफ्यूज टीयर्स विल ड्राउन द क्रिएशन द यूनिवर्स, फिर बताता है कि उसकी अपनी महबूबा की जो टीयर्स है वो पूरे दुनिया को तबाह कर सकता है। फिर वो अपनी बिलावेड को मून से कंपेयर करता है और वो बताता है कि शी विल कॉज टाइड्स एंड स्टॉर्म्स। All these images are interlinked, ये सब एक दूसरे से जुड़े हुए हैं, and they convey a sense of unified sensibility, जो मैंने आपको सुबह बताया था, unification of sensibility। The poet here draws imagery from geography, theology and astronomy। यहाँ पर geography से, theology दुनिया से, astronomy तीनों जगहों से वो imagery को recall draw करता है। Even he does not lose his grip on reality। So this is the beauty of this poem। Is that clear? Any question regarding this? किसी को सवाल है तो कुछ सवाल पूछना, जल्दी पूछें, otherwise I would like to do one more poem।
Yes, sir. Move forward.
Okay, the next one is Air and Angel। Now this poem, Air and Angel, it is an address of the poet to his beloved again। In this poem, the poet, instead of idealistic concept of love, seems to preach spiritual love, which needs a concrete vehicle to express itself। यहाँ पे तस्वराती मोहब्बत की जगह ऐसी रूहानी मोहब्बत का जिक्र करता है जिसमें रूह को अपने आप जाहिर करने की जरिए इज़हार की जरूरत पड़ जाती है. Means he is trying to express spiritual love here. Let's begin this one. Again, he is addressing his beloved. Twice or thrice had I loved thee. Thee means you. Twice or thrice means I have loved you. You means my beloved. Twice or thrice in spirit. Before I knew thy face or name. Before I knew thy face or name is before I saw your face or I knew your name. I loved twice or thrice in spirit. रूहानी तौर पर. So in a voice, so in a shapeless flame, angels affect us of and worship be. So he says it, just as angels are recognized through their voice, so in a voice, so is in a shapeless flame, which just as angels are recognized or they are identified because of their voice or because of a halo or ball of fire. A shapeless flame is ball of fire. Angels affect us oft and worship be. And then worship. In the same way, you are known as a spirit. इसी तरह से you are also a spirit. He's talking to his beloved. He says that you are also a spirit in the same way. Still when to where thou wert, I came. Some lovely, glorious nothing I did see. When I came to see you, I saw something vague. Means still when to where thou wert, thou means you were, I came. जब मैं आया, when I came to see you, I saw something vague. मुझे कोई चीज unclear नजर आई. Or nebulous like a glorious thing. Or some lovely, glorious nothing I did see. इससे पहले मैंने कभी नहीं देखा. But since my soul, whose child love is, takes limbs of flesh and else could nothing do. So, but since my soul, so here he's saying, love is a child of the soul. Love is the child of the soul and has taken the limbs of flesh, or else it cannot function. Limbs कहते हैं हाथ पैर को. So he says that but since my soul, whose child love is, since child is a love is a child. Love भी जो है एक बच्चा होता है of the soul, and it has taken the limbs of flesh. और ये मेरे limbs यानी कि हाथ पैर को ले जा चुका है. Takes limbs of flesh and else could nothing do. More subtle than the parent is. Love must not be, but take a body too. So he says that love is a child of the soul and has taken the limbs of flesh, or else it cannot function. Means love need also soul. It also needs a body. Similarly, the soul, the parent of love, must need a body. Means ऐसा नहीं है कि you can love and you can enjoy. You must need a body as well in order to love someone. Love must not be but take a body too. And therefore, what thou wert and who I bid love ask and now. When I ask love, it points to your body. And as such, I fix my attention on your lips, eyes, and brows. So actually, he was having spiritual love, but now he says that love also needs a body. Without body, it's not easy to express or to find feeling. So when I ask love, it points to your body, and as such, I fix my attention on your lips, eyes, and brows, and fix itself in thy lip, means in your lip, your eye, and your brows. While thus to balance love, I thought, and so more steadily to have gone with words which would sing admiration. I saw I had love's penis overfraught. Now here he's saying that for this reason I concretize and steady my love just as ballast. Ballast कहते हैं heavy load in the hold. Heavy load. So while thus to balance love, I thought, means while I have very heavy load of love, and so more steadily to have gone, I would go out in the ship's boat. Here he's talking about I concretize and steady my love just as ballast is used for stabilizing the ship. So I would go out in the ship's boat to collect small items of load. वो लोड कह रहे हैं यहाँ पर, मतलब ये जो आइटम्स होते हैं जिनका वजन हो जाता है. For nor in nothing, nor in things, extreme and scattering bright can love inhere. उससे पहले था कि every thy here for love to work upon is much too much, some fitter must be sought. So every you're here for love to work upon. Here he's talking about that he's talking about the hair of his beloved as well, and he says it also deserves admiration. And by collecting such items, he says the poet says that he was only overloading the boat with a risk of sinking. Then as an angel face and wings of fear, not pure as it, yet pure doth wear. So thy love may be my love's sphere, just such disparity. So here he's saying that even the praise of your beauty would overload the board, यानी कि सिर्फ तुम्हारी तारीफ ही जो है वो मेरी किश्ती को overload कर देगी. I must find out some better item for admiration. Love cannot rest content with the enumeration of the different points of beauty of the beloved. So love cannot rest content. Love must have functional outlet for its physical expression. It must have physical expression as well. Of fear, not pure as it, yet pure doth fear. So thy love may be more my love's sphere, just such disparity. Such is the difference between the love of man compared to an angel and the love of women compared to air. So love of man is comparing with the angel, and love of women is comparing with the air. And he says this kind of disparity, namely the active love of man and passive love of women. And this is something that will continue. Twixt women's love and men will continue. तो जब हम इस पोएम को क्रिटिकली देखते हैं तो वी सी दैट दिस इज अ पोएम ऑफ लव एंड हैज लिटिल टू डू विद एयर एंड एंजल्स. ज्यादा इसमें एयर और एंजल्स का जिक्र आपको ज्यादा नहीं मिलेगा. इट इज अगेन लव पोएम, and the poet is fed up with the platonic idea of love. Love is something holy and spiritual. The poet is also he's not happy either with the worship of the beloved and the admiration of her beauty. इससे भी वो थक चुका है. Which the Petrarchian poets did, जो उस वक्त के Petrarchian poets से वो करते थे. The poet realizes the hollowness and hypocrisy of the idealization of love. वो लव की जो हॉलीनेस है और जो हिपोक्रेसी उसको भी जान चुका है. He says that love demands something concrete. It must have a physical base. इसकी लाजमी physical base होनी चाहिए. Physically ये exist करना चाहिए. Love can grow only by mutuality and cooperation. और love जो है mutual cooperation के साथ grow करता है. Now, what things do we learn or do we develop in our mind when we read this poem? So, of course, the poet discusses the soul-body relationship. You can write down this thing. In this poem, the poet discusses the soul-body relationship. The poet discusses the soul-body relationship in this poem. As we can see that just as the angels manifest themselves in the air by a voice or light, in the same way, love, which is something idealistic, must express itself through some concrete medium. शुरू में क्या करता है? The poet thought love was like a spirit of an angel. लेकिन बाद में वो realize करता है that love must be expressed through a medium. इसका भी कोई medium होना चाहिए. Then he talks about Ben's active love. If we talk about the style, so we see that this is one of the highly of course you have not read many poems of John Donne, that's why you'll not be able to understand this one. ये बहुत ही intellectual, highly intellectualized poem थी John Donne की, love poem थी. The title does not suggest the subject of love. Title से आपको नहीं समझ आएगा कि ये it deals with subject of love. The poet describes divine love in terms of the flesh. He also borrows images and concepts from metaphysics, navigation, and scholasticism. The idea of using ballast to the ship of love for its smooth sailing is original and is the concept of the disparity between men's passion and women's response. Man's love is an angel and woman's love is the air, and the harmony of the two is necessary for the concretization and consummation. दोनों के दरमियान harmony जो है बहुत जरूरी है. So this is
Sir,
what we have in this poem.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
What's mean by the man love is like a air and woman love is like a air and man love is like a angel?
Here he is comparing man's love with the angel and he is comparing woman's love with the air. ये कंपेयर कर रहे हैं. अब इसका क्या मतलब निकलता है आप खुद इसको ड्राइव करें. Actually, he says that love is something that needs physical existence. Love is something that cannot have all the time its spiritual, spiritual, you can say, existence. It must have its physical existence as well, and it should be from both sides. Otherwise, it will not be enjoyable. It will not be joyful. Yes, you have only 1 minute. Any question regarding this? So we have discussed 2 poems of John Donne.
No, sir.
तो काइंडली इसको आप डाउनलोड कर लीजिएगा या मैं इसको एक साथ करके आपको सेंड कर दूंगा. नोट्स बनाना आपका काम है. If you make notes, it will be easy for you when I give you in the exams, and if you don't make notes, then it will be difficult for you to understand. ओके, टुमारो तो कल के बारे में आपको थोड़ी देर में बता दूंगा. कल हो सकता है शाम में मैं आप लोगों की क्लासेस दूं, बिकॉज इन द मॉर्निंग आई हैव टू गो टू द हॉस्पिटल. So I'll tell you about this inshallah later on.